Trying to understand the pinhead sight system for chunk gun. Pay attention, I said trying. This is a hard thing for a lot of people to grab a hold of. I was one of those. When I first started out, I could not figure it out. I simply could not figure it out. And I was doing it all wrong. I had the white dot was just way bigger than it ought to have been. And like Neil Eddington said, he said, you can just swim around inside of that big white dot. So the secret to it is, if there is a secret, is the dot has to be scaled to fit your front pinhead sight on your rifle. In this case, we'll call this the front sight. Now, what you end up with, you'll see a lot of blue backgrounds, you'll see green, you see shades of gray, taupe, different colors like that. That's between you and your eyes. You guys will have to figure it out together. Usually what you'll see is a black ring here of about 8 to 10 inches. Just, again, that depends on the sights of your gun. You have to figure that one out for yourself. I don't know what kind of sights you've got on your gun or how big they are. I don't know what your eye sees. For me, with a 93 thousandths front pinhead sight, I will go from as big as I've been, usually around 3 1/4 at the max, and I've been down as small as 2 5/8 on a really, really bright sunny day. You can get down. I don't know if you can see it, but this one's 2 3/4. Anyway, the color, the size, all that has to be chosen by you, and it has to be scaled to your sights. Now, here's how this pinhead is supposed to work. I finally figured it out when I found an old article by Paul that the Bevel brothers had done, and he explained light refraction. And that's what it is, it's light refraction. Now, your pinhead sight should be scaled to just cover that white, okay? What you are seeing when you look out there, what you should see when you look out there is not the white. You should see a glow coming around that black, and that is the refracted light from the sun moving around that. It literally glows. Now, that's a hard one to understand too. Until just recently, I fell into something. All the talk now is about the big solar eclipse coming in April. We're right in the middle of the country. We're right where it's ground zero for the solar eclipse. If you want to really understand this pinhead system, get on the internet and just Google total solar eclipse and look at the pictures that you'll see pop up. What you'll see is the moon comes between the earth and the sun, and it blocks out the sun, except around these edges you will see the light, the glow of the sun coming around that. That's sort of what you're looking for when you do the pinhead sight system. You get that front sight on there and you should see a white glow coming around that. Now, as you get a little more advanced into this, you can figure out that if you get into some windy situations or mirage and things of that nature that are affecting things, you can fudge a little bit. You'll hear guys talk about a part of a crescent moon, and it may look like this to them. The glow may look like this. Well, what they're doing, that's going to make that shot go a little lower than the one that's got it completely covered. In the case of mirage or something, if you start shooting up, next relay, you can kind of fudge a little bit, show a little bit of crescent there at the top, and that'll make your next shot go lower. But those are things that only come with a lot of practice. There is nothing written in stone about this game. So you'll learn those things the more you practice. So there's the deal. This is representing your front sight on your rifle. And I'll get a video later. I'll have pictures of pinhead sights and the rear sights on my guns. But that's what you got right there. Now, in this case, you'll notice I got a lot of area below. One of my guns shoots low, at 60 yards on this spotter target. So that leaves room down here for the shots to land. I've got another gun that's completely opposite. The shots will land up here, so the bull or the circle will be down here. Again, that's your gun. You got to figure that one out on your own. The pinhead system works. The problem with it is you'll get as many guys that say they love it as you'll get as many guys that say they hate it. But actually, if you poll the guys that say they hate it and you really held their feet to the fire, they'll tell you they really didn't try it, or they tried it once and didn't like it. Well, I don't care what kind of sighting system you got. You can't try it once and say, well, it doesn't work. You got to live with it for a while. So I've tried all of them. I finally settled on the pinhead system. Once I understood what Paul was talking about, and guys like Neil and Tom and those guys have helped me with this tremendously. But that's the system. Just remember, this is your front pinhead sight. This is your spotting target. You should see a glow around that. Not the white itself, but the glow of the light being reflected off of the white dot. That dot has to be sized to your front sight. There's no real answer to that. There is a mathematical formula. I've tried it, and although in theory it's correct, it never works out because everybody's eyes are different. So your best thing you can do when you go to the range, grab a stack of your wife's paper plates that she doesn't know about. Take them to the range with you. Take a compass with you. And you cut, and a pair of scissors, and you make various circles until when you sit behind that gun and look out there, that front sight is just barely covering that white circle. Again, all you want to see is the glow off of it, not the white, the glow. You may have to, in a shooting match, I've changed that white dot 3 times because the light has changed that much. You start early in the morning, you may need one 3.5 inches. But when the light comes up, and I literally have gone from 3 1/4 down to 2 5/8 in one shoot, because they started early, the sun comes up behind your back, and that makes that white glow. So you have to keep going down in size until you don't see the white, you only see the glow. All right, I hope that makes sense. Probably won't, because it took me forever to figure it out too, but at least you've had a little more practical explanation of how it works. And don't be afraid of the pinhead system. If you go to one of the bigger shoots like the York, you're going to see almost everyone that's in the top 10 is using a pinhead system. And I know the ones that are in the top 5 are all using it. So shoot it for a while, get used to it. In another video, we'll look at the sights on my rifles. I'll explain to you how they're made, the size they are, and things of that nature. All right, until the next time, folks, thanks for stopping by.